Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Brendan Fletcher hanging out with Galaxy on Comic-Con Radio. Let's get it.
It's a downward spiral to the end of all times, and there's no chance that we can survive. I mean, 70 million people every year are brought into this earth. What are they doing? Sucking up our resources. There's too many people, so what do? Just keep them around? Let's kill them. Let's get rid of them. Good. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. But you know what? We're at capacity. We're at capacity now. So sorry. No more. No more. So that's what I'll do. Why not? I mean, that's my plan. That's what I want to do. Let's just clean the world. So maybe the rest of us can sustain a little bit of life. So maybe that's what I'll do in the future. I'll help you out. I'll help you out. And I will cleanse. Make more room for you. I will exhibit my own brand of population control for you. That's it.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing in for Comic-Con Radio. Comic-Con! Coverage of pop culture events from around the globe. Amazing interviews with celebrities. Daily recaps and reviews of popular television. Movie reviews. Everything Comic-Con and fandom from around the globe. Comic-Con Radio. Get ready to enter our universe. Let's go. Good afternoon and good evening. This is Galaxy for another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Today we have a cool guest. This gentleman, he's a Canadian actor, screenwriter, producer. He's appeared in a lot of cool fandom shows. I'm not going to tell you which ones because we're going to talk about it on the show. Today we have Brendan Fletcher on Comic-Con Radio. Brendan, what's up, bro?
Let's go. How are you?
Pretty good, man.
What's up, Galaxy?
Hey.
Nice to talk to you, man.
Thank you. Good to talk to you, too. You are making a stand for yourself. You are popping up on every show. You're a siren here and an arrow there and a here and there. What's up, man?
I'm trying my best, man. You know, it's been all right, man. 2 great shows. Arrow was so fun, man. So fun. You know, those shows, you never really know what you're going to get, you know. I did have to work hard to get that part. Didn't know what it was going to turn into. Ended up being 7 episodes, so super happy, man.
Oh, yeah. You came on pre the ending of Arrow, the season before the ending of Arrow, which it's going to last in everybody's minds forever. And you're on a TV show called Siren. You're a mermaid that doesn't know he's a mermaid. And, you know, we've had a bunch of the cast members Siren on. And
oh, have you?
Yes, and very cool people. How is it working on that show?
Love it, man. Most of my work was with Rena, and she's just
lovely.
You know, she's legendary, right? Like, you know, she's just got a vibe about her that is just so fun, and like she's just so interesting to act with. You know, one of the more interesting actors I've ever sort of had the chance, and like when we get together, man, we just laugh and laugh. Like I can't believe how many blown takes there would be because we just like have such a good time, you know.
Rena's awesome. We had her on the show before. She's so cool. My book that's coming out, she actually did a little write-up on it. She's not just the person that you can't reach. She's very approachable, very awesome, and she's an OG in this business.
Dude, she's so open, man. Like, as soon as I got the part, she texted me. She was, like, inviting me out to cast functions and stuff. Like, she's just, like, you know, her arms are very wide, man. She brings everyone in.
Do you think these 2 TV shows has opened more doors, or is it a combination of everything?
I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I guess the Arrow fandom is so big, that definitely in the Comic-Con world, I would say there's been some warm reception in that arena. Maybe more so than Siren at this point, but like Siren's still going and we still have opportunity to grow. We're all keeping our fingers crossed for another season. We should find out soon. There's a lot of that story left to tell, I feel. So that's exciting, and hopefully the audience will grow with the show. But so far, so good. Arrow was just fun for me, man. When I signed on, I didn't know how many episodes it was going to be. I thought it was going to be maybe 2, I didn't really know too much about the character coming in. Like, it's tough when you go onto these shows and you don't really necessarily know how many episodes you might be doing. I come in knowing like I'm this geek fanboy, like innocent kid who just like he's trying to find his way in this prison, and but I have the producers telling me like, oh no, but Stanley's actually he's a psycho. He ends up like being extremely psychotic. So just so you know, and you're like, okay, wow, okay, so and you start putting these little hat tips, in the beginning episodes, just trying to, because you think like, oh, I have 3 episodes really to like show this whole arc here, you know what I mean? But it went 7, so it really gave me the opportunity to really jump off,
Oh yeah, the whole time Stephen Amell was in prison, you were there right beside him, and you went from fan to psychotic crazy person and beyond. It's an understatement, but that's good that you had that character. I think it was perfect for you. I think you really stood out a lot. But, you have been on other shows and movies. There's so many things.
Man, I'm going to go back to 95.
95,
Yeah.
I see your face in a lot of projects. Once you notice someone, you see them, and then you're like, okay, I see them here and there. And you're coming up on some cool projects, I heard. I don't know if you can share it or not. What's a couple of cool projects you're working on?
Well, like there's this movie out right now, actually, that for one reason or the other, like it really hasn't found its footing, and there's a lot going on with it behind the scenes. It's but I'm talking about this movie Night Hunter that's out on Amazon Prime right now.
Yeah.
It used to be called Nomis, it's a great cast. It's Henry Cavill, it's Alexandra Daddario, it's Ben Kingsley. And, this is a movie that it's a really crazy role for me, not to give anything away, because I hope people will see it. But like, I was really on all spectrums of my game on that movie. And, it happens with these movies sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, it was called Nomis. They changed the title to Night Hunter. I felt like they kind of put it in a box where it turned into a certain kind of movie. It's just not finding its audience, bro. And like,
it's okay.
I'm really proud of the work in that. That was exciting for me to have that come out and like just be a part of my my career at this point, because to be honest, man, like I was doing this series called Cardinal a few years ago, and I had like an accident on set where a blank was discharged under my chin. It actually blew a hole through my chin into my mouth.
No way.
On set. And I'm not sure, a lot of people don't know about this. It hasn't been like highly publicized,
well, of
okay?
course they hide
but
stuff
like
that,
they don't want to talk about it, right? So, so this happened in Sudbury. It was like -40. We had all the crew members sort of inside. We're doing the scene where, this cop and I are shooting back and forth, you know what I mean? And I was supposed to get into a car and just drive away at the end of the shootout, but the director wanted to change the scene right at the end and have me put the gun up to my face and shoot, and commit suicide. So they loaded up the blank as they would. And, just in the throes of -40, no one watching, like, the gun didn't go off when it was supposed to, and it went off under my chin.
Wow.
So I was really sort of out. Oh yeah, man. Like I woke up, like, not to be so grotesque and graphic, but like I woke up and I put 3 fingers through my chin.
No way.
And I realized we had a real big problem. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I almost died. If there was anything in the muzzle of the gun, like it would have been a Brendan Lee situation. And I was crawling through the dirt. Something could have gone in that barrel, right?
Oh,
and it could have been disastrous. But so for me, like No Mace the Night Hunter, that was sort of my first time. That was my first project back, man, after being out for like more than a year.
wow.
And sort of all of that shit, man, went into that movie, you know, so that's why it's kind of close to me.
Was that pre-Arrow or after Arrow, that scene that happened?
And so Arrow was after.
Wow.
Arrow
so
was
all
after.
this stuff happened to you right before that, and man, many things probably go through your mind. Like, are you scared on set now? Do you like think twice before you do anything like that? It must have caused a lot of traumatic. This is your life,
dude. Yeah, I mean, I haven't worked with a firearm very much since then. Like, but the one time I did a movie called Distorted with Christina Ricci. And I did one scene where I fired a weapon, and it shook me, man. It shook me. This is coming from like a guy, like I've been working with firearms on set my whole life, my whole career. Like from the very first movie I did when I was 13, it was called Little Criminals, and you know, I have 357 Magnum, and you know what I mean, and like, and I was shooting that all, you know, and like, I did these movies, Rampage, where like, you know, I have 2 semi-automatic weapons, and I'm firing them, and there's tons of extras coming in and out, like, and I have to be very careful, like, I'm very aware. I also did a miniseries called The Pacific for HBO, where I was like trained as a Marine for 2 weeks. You know, we were at boot camp, and you know what I mean? So there's a lot of on-set weapons training that I've had.
Movies. You could play like those gangsters, like in Boardwalk type of TV series, or some kind of like UK Jason Statham type of movies. It's probably affected you so much that you probably don't take roles with. I don't know. Do you still do that, or
they just haven't come up? So I really haven't had to deal with it so much. But I mean, like in terms of like on-set safety and dealing with firearms on set, like, I had so much experience, and like, even with that experience, this like terrible accident happened. You know what I mean? So it kind of goes to show you, like, it can happen.
Wow.
To anyone, dude. And like, it's
just
just
terrifying, man. Because after Brendan's situation and a few other ones that happened, you kind of think that they double, triple, quadruple check things, but it can happen anytime, and you're there to play a role and do your scene and give your entire energy into it, and then you got to watch out now for a loaded gun. Whoa.
Well, there's a lot of factors. Yeah, exactly. Like, you're in the scene, you're acting, you know what I mean? Like, obviously the first thing on your mind is like your safety when you're dealing with something that dangerous, like a firearm going up to your face. But of course there are steps and safety steps put in place to prevent it. And unfortunately, you know, through circumstances, sometimes those are sort of overlooked, and that's definitely what happened to me, you know.
Wow, that's kind of crazy that a lot more attention wasn't put into that, because it's pretty traumatic.
I think it's important for them to know, and it's taken me a long time to sort of start to talk about it.
Oh yeah,
but it's good. I mean, like it is, man. Yeah, because it can happen, and people can get comfortable. And that's when accidents happen, you know what I mean?
Wow. This is big, because not only that this was a prop for a TV series, but this also kind of shows you about reality of how guns are dangerous. Because if a prop is so dangerous that it did this to you, imagine what a gun with actual live bullet can do. And attention needs to come to it. And hey, man, I'm so happy that you made it. I'm so happy that you're here, and you got to be in Arrow and Siren and new movies. And, you know,
we're moving on, and we're moving on. You know,
and you're moving on.
But yeah,
you know, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be there for a while. It's still gonna affect you. I know that for a fact. And
like, just sort of raising awareness. You know what I mean? Like, I know, like, people on set, they're very careful about it. And like, there's a lot of reverence paid to, like, you know, in the stunt world, with firearms or car crashes, and you know, like shit happens. I mean, like look at the Uma Thurman thing with Quentin Tarantino, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And she's driving this old shitty car down this, you know, unsafe road, and you know what I mean. But like, we want to get the shot. We want to get the shot, and you know, and she just drives it into a tree because, you know, she shouldn't have never even been in that position, but you know, through various circumstances she is, and you know what I mean. And yeah, so it's tough, like especially for young actors, man. They just want to be a team player. They want to make the shot work, and
They'll do whatever it takes.
but sometimes, yeah, especially on like smaller productions where you might not have the resources that you should have, you know, especially in today's like world of content creation and doing things by yourself. It's, you know what I mean?
Because there's so many platforms. There's YouTube and there's this and that where, you know, a novice can actually create, and actually professionals create on it as well. But there's also all of these streaming platforms that offer so many open doors for everyone. And I know not everybody takes the safety precautions, and I hope everyone listens to this and they check twice and 3 times, because this is major stuff. It's no joke.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, man. I feel really bad.
Thanks, man.
I gotta give you like a.
Wasn't my
1,000 more
necessarily my
credit.
plan to bring this up. You know what I mean? It wasn't my plan to bring this up. It just happened. You know what I mean? I don't want to bring down the conversation.
No,
you know what I mean?
this is.
But yeah, I feel like
dude,
it is.
we gotta talk about it. It's part of your life.
Yeah.
That's like a part of your life and history that's never gonna go away. And people can say, "Hey, just forget about it and move on," but it's still gonna be there. And that's good that you brought it forward, because people need to know, and awareness is amazing. And that's great you talked about it, because some people were like, "Oh, you know, I'm embarrassed," but hey, you're like, "Hey, man, it's happened to me. What the hell?" So you worked on that movie. Night Hunter, and it has a great cast, right? Henry Cavill, Ben Kingsley,
Amazing cast. Yeah.
Stanley Tucci. It goes on and
Yeah,
on and
Stanley
on.
Tucci, Nathan Fillion.
How does it feel?
You know?
How does it feel that you're 6th in line next to those other cast members' names? How does it feel? How does it make you feel?
I mean, it feels wonderful, and I am proud of the movie. You know, walking into it, it's very intimidating, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And it was such a wildly written character that I knew sort of walking in that like a lot of it was resting on my shoulders, you know, as sort of the central villain. And to, you know, all those things, you want to make it compelling, you want to serve the story, but at the same time, you're just trying to figure out this wild character, and without giving away too much, there's a lot going on in terms of this character's duplicity and, you know, is he, you know, this multi-personality disorder? Like, is he a child? Is he a man? Like, is he, you know what I mean? So it was just a lot walking in and knowing that like this film is carrying such big stars, you know, and just to be in the same room was obviously a great honor and a pleasure. But there was a lot of work to be done for sure.
Well, amazing amount of work. And I think, here, let me tell you something. Not that I think, I know. The way you act, you really sell your part. If people didn't know you were an actor, they would really believe that you're that character. I think with a lot of emotions, you do really well. I've noticed that in Siren. I've noticed it in Arrow. I've noticed it here in this movie, Night Hunter. Your emotion, you're very good with displaying emotion, putting feeling behind things, and also being a flip type of character where you're one way and then another way, and you just do that transition so well. You can get crazy from 0 to 100 really, really well. And, you know, that's not just acting. That means you have like this energy inside you that you can just flip yourself. And it's really cool. Does it take a lot of work to do that? Like to just get your mind state into that, you know, that way of, you know, being so dark sometimes in some characters?
Yeah. I like I like to think that I'm relatively calm in my real life, like that I don't just flip off the handle and like, you know what I mean? Like I think I'm pretty chill. I don't really have an answer to why like I'm able to or have been like steered towards these sort of darker characters throughout my career. Like when I started, I thought I was going to be a comedian. Like I thought I was hilarious. Like my favorite actor growing up was Chris Farley. You know what I mean? And I ended up actually, my first time in Los Angeles was, I was flown down to read with Chris Farley for Black Sheep.
Wow. That's cool.
That was, which was just like out of this world for me because, I was such a big fan of his. And, it was tough. I ended up getting the part, but I couldn't get my work visa in time. So I think I was 14.
Dang.
So another actor got it. But, could you imagine if I was in Black Sheep with Chris Farley and David Spade,
Well,
unbelievable.
Your career would have been a little different because you would have been more comedic. But I think these roles fit you really well. Here's the thing. Jim Carrey, he was in an interview. He was in this vampire movie back in the 80s, and the movie flopped. And it was a comedic vampire movie. And he said, if I would have became famous then, I would have lost everything because I didn't know myself. Later, when he went on In Living Color and he knew himself, he said, look, I grew into the man I am now. So I think that role wasn't intended for you. And now look at you. You're still a young dude. You're in cool movies and shows. And it shows, man. And you're playing those roles good. And maybe this is your time. There you go.
Yeah. You know what? I've been at this, man, for, I think, 24 years.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I've grown with this industry and, like, I've grown into myself sort of over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, I've went through my teenage years and dealing with that, like, and auditioning for, like, I tested for the 70s show, like, back in the day. And there's just a lot of stages in your life, and I feel like certain parts just come along that are right for that stage in your life, So it's constantly changing, and that's what I like about it, man. There's not necessarily a linear through line through it, man. It's just, things come up as you need them. Maybe I was going through a lot of shit, just dealing with this injury that I had that was right for a movie like Night Hunter. Like it just came at the right time when I was dealing with my own mortality and like who I was. And that movie's very much about that. It's about mortality and just reflecting on who we are as people and how we exist in the world, So
maybe that's what made you this person, this method type of dark, characters that you can play.
Yeah.
Just don't.
In a lot of ways,
don't be that way.
No. You know what? I mean, like these things sort of work as a catharsis, right? And that's what they're meant to do. You can explore certain parts of ourselves with a pretty large safety net, and know that we're safe, generally speaking.
Oh yeah. So, got a question for you.
Yeah.
Question. You've been in a lot of TV shows, H13, grew up in Hollywood, North, as they call it.
North.
Have
Yeah.
you seen a difference in Canada since you were a kid till now? Have you seen a big difference in shows and movies being filmed there and just the big acting scene?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the industry up here has matured quite a lot. Obviously, we've grown into one of the biggest filmmaking centers in the world. I think like number 3, maybe number 2 at some point. But you see it in how experienced and skilled our crew is. Our community of actors up here. There's such good actors up here. They might not always get the fairest shake because they don't live in Hollywood. I mean, I think we all sort of we spend our time and I've spent a lot of time in LA. I keep coming back up here because I like the lifestyle, but it's definitely a mature film industry with tons of opportunity. I've worked with amazing filmmakers being up here. And like I wouldn't really change it for the world, man. I love it. I love the lifestyle up here, and I really can't complain with the parts that I've gotten over the years. You know what I mean? Like working with Alejandro Inarritu on The Revenant, or you know Terry Gilliam on Tideland. Like I've definitely worked with some legendary filmmakers. You know,
So with all these filmmakers you worked with and all these amazing actors that you've co-starred with, I know I don't want you to pick sides or anything, but who's your favorite actor? I don't want to say celebrity crush. I don't want to ask you that, you know, but who's your favorite actor?
I have to shout out, like, you know, working with Leonardo DiCaprio was pretty amazing to see how long he's been doing it, how much of a professional, how just generally chill he is about who he is. And yeah, it's pretty incredible to see how much work he's put in, and he's sort of avoided a lot of pitfalls of people that would be in this industry for that long. And he just continues to put in like the best work possible. You know, and still on that movie, Tom Hardy is such a beast,
yes.
Such a beast of an actor. So intimidating to be around, but
you're intimidated by him. He's not that big of a guy.
Well, I mean,
what is it? Is it?
I mean,
his aura.
He's thick, man. He's thick. I mean, no, he's got.
That's a good word.
He's not small. He's not a small guy. He's not a small guy. All right. I mean, I wouldn't want to like roll around with him. You know what I mean? But he's just got a lot of energy. You know what I mean? Like he's a force. You know what I mean? When he's on set, and he also has this other side where he's like calm and he's like caring, and he's, you know what I mean? And you can really connect to him. But like, the guy's a bit of a maniac too. You know what I mean?
Well, in The Revenant, between Tom and Leonardo, who would you think intimidates you the most?
I mean, between those guys. I mean, it's got to be Tom, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's got to be Tom. I mean, Leo's chill, but Leo's also like the biggest movie star on the planet.
Oh yeah, in the universe.
So he knows everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows everybody knows. So no matter how cool they're being, they're like, he's probably going to be looking at them like, you know what? He's being cool and good for him, but he knows who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? This has got to trip him out a little bit, even though he's like acting pretty chill around me. He knows that. You know what I mean? It's just like this weird thing, like of being that big of a movie star, dude. Like, how do people even connect to you?
That's so cool to hear.
That's probably a problem.
Look at this. Like you're in movies, you co-star with them, but you're still referring to him as a movie star. You're still referring to him as a celebrity. That shows a lot about you. It shows that you understand, you are grounded, and you also, you know, you're human. How amazing was it that you worked with them? So when you were on set, were you nervous at times? Did you ever like geek out? Do you ever geek out? Actually, do you ever geek out meeting anybody or no?
For sure I do. For sure I do.
We don't want to name names.
But you know, it's just like when you're on set and you're working, you're both supposed to be in your element. I mean, like that's not really the thing that rises to the surface or gets in the way of like actually working with them. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I had this crazy experience on a movie called 88 Minutes where I auditioned for another part in that movie that Ben McKenzie ended up getting. So I didn't get it, blah, blah, blah. You know, like a month went by. I wake up at 7 a.m. My agent's calling me. He's like, what are you doing right now? I'm like, I'm just waking up. He's like, can you be on set in half an hour? I'm like, what set? He's like, look, Donnie Wahlberg missed his flight, and they have to shoot this scene today. So they want to know if you can come in and play Donnie Wahlberg's part opposite Al Pacino. It's a 4-page scene with Al Pacino, but they have to shoot it today. Can you do it? So I basically get out of bed, hop in the shower, drive down the street to the set. I put in like Donnie Wahlberg's costume, which is like way too big for me. I'm kind of, I'm on the shorter side, and it's just like, I'm a campus security guard, and it's just like with this just the baggiest security outfit that you've ever seen on a guy, and all of a sudden props comes over with a belt that's way too big with a gun, and it's like sagging, falling down. But I'm like, I have a gun too, and wait, I don't feel like, you know what I mean? I feel like I need a mustache or something. I feel like I'm no one's going to take me seriously. Like, can you bring the pants in and tailor the shirt? Like, I feel like I'm, anyways. And then, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, like, I'm standing next to or across from Al Pacino doing a scene, like rattling off a monologue. And in those moments, like, you don't have time to think like, oh, that's Al Pacino. I mean, like, you do, but it's just, I guess it's like you compartmentalize, you know what I mean? Wow. Like, at the end of the day, you're doing what you do, you're doing what you've done your whole life almost. I think when you're both working together and you're collaborating and, all that kind of other stuff sort of falls by the wayside, you know what I mean? You just get down and work.
It just becomes natural, like second nature.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, like, you want to be good. You don't want to be in a scene like and like have Al Pacino think that you're stinking up the room.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
With, so like, baggy clothes and looking funny, having funny clothes on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Al, like, they just called me like a half an hour ago. So, like, if I suck, then, it's just like, you know what I mean? I didn't have really time to prepare.
Did you say that to him, or no? You wouldn't say that to him?
No. You can't make excuses for yourself. You just kind of got to jump off. You know what I mean? That's what
on set. Did they talk to anyone, or are they very quiet?
Well, Al, I just remember Al, like, so we'd block scenes, and then he'd get his driver to kind of drive him around the block where they set up the lights and stuff. Like, so he would kind of keep to himself, but he was also, when he was on set, he was super funny and present, and, obviously everyone reveres Al Pacino.
Oh, yeah. Just that name, right? When you hear that name,
yeah.
Like, uh-oh. There's some names in Hollywood when you hear. You know what else freaks me out? Like, there's TV shows that have been around for 3, 4, 5 seasons, and the cast is like thick as thieves, and then you come on and you have to have a role in that season. That's
for sure.
How would you feel in something like that?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I definitely had that experience in Arrow. You know what I mean? That's such a tight cast, and the crew is just like, you walk into that and you realize, like, oh, this is like a family. Siren, same way, but like, this is a family. These people have been working together for years. One benefit of it for me was that it was shot in Vancouver, so I had some familiarity with just some of the crew, some of the creatives. Like, James Bamford was directing the first episode that I did, and of course he's a producer on Arrow as well.
He's also
but like
he's a choreographer as well, right? Bam.
Yeah, he's a stunt coordinator. Yes. So Bam, he coordinated the stunts on the first Rampage movie that I did.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So that kind of it helps to have some familiarity, and with the camera crew and hair and makeup. You know what I mean? So you walk in and like you you do feel like people, and so that kind of settles you in. But it's like it is crazy, man. It's crazy to come into such a well-oiled machine, you know what I mean, and try to find your footing within that.
But they kind of try. Did they kind of try, you think, to overly, like, make you feel welcome and make you feel accepted?
Definitely. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's
if you come into a family like that and then you have, like, a kissing scene with one of the girls that, or one of the guys that's been there for a while.
Yo,
everybody's like, hey.
things get intimate real quick, you know what I mean? And like I said, I think I've said this a couple of times, you just have to jump off the diving board, man. You don't necessarily know where you're going to land. You just have to have the balls to jump.
Yeah, I think half of it is having, the cojones to go through with it, and
that's it.
Then your talent, of course, kicks in.
I mean, that's what I just try to commit and be present, that's it. You just got to be present in the moment.
Would you take on any more superhero shows? Would you want to do that?
I love them. Stanley's still alive, so yeah, I'm crossing my fingers that guy could show up.
Well,
I mean, there's a universe that they created there,
Oh yeah.
So who knows?
A lot of
Stanley Dover could come back.
A lot of showrunners. Hey, if you're listening, we need to get him back on one of those shows.
Yeah, Stanley Dover. He needs this moment. Man.
Well, they're going to make Green Lantern, and then opposite of Green Lantern, there's a lot of very meanie, well, not very meanies, but very big meanies, and maybe Stanley becomes one of those meanies. Hey, bring Stanley.
Yeah. I'm here. I'm here for it.
You're here for
100%.
it. So,
yeah, man.
Some of these actors are like 6'4". Look at Alex Povnovic. Really cool dude. I call him the cool guy on Sci-Fi. He is a tall dude. Oh, yeah. Have you ever worked with someone overly tall that you're like, whoa?
Oh shit! Well, I've worked with Alex, so that he could fall into that category.
Well,
yeah, it's funny, man. I don't know. It's funny. I am on the smaller side. I just don't feel that small. So even if you put me next to a guy that's 6'5", I won't feel like diminutive in any way. You know what I mean? I got that inner power.
You got the inner power.
But that is something that people do say when they meet me. They're like, oh, man, I actually thought you were much bigger,
Well, it's the personality, it's the way you carry yourself. Like I said, you could be a gangster. You have that old gangster look.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, take it. Take that gangster look and make it happen. So you've probably been to Comic-Con conventions, of course.
I've only been to like a handful here and there, but it's definitely something I would love to do more. It's such a blast to be able to meet the fans and, the ones that I have been fortunate enough to go to. I've been received very kindly, and yeah, no, I do really love that whole community. It's such a tight community, and just to feel that support, man, it's a beautiful thing. Well, get out there and request me in your local town, wherever you want to see me. Maybe we can get it done.
That's it. So, do you believe in the paranormal?
Oh, bro, yes. I do believe in residual energy, how that manifests itself. I'm not really sure. Apparitions. I mean, I believe in aliens. I believe in spirit. I believe in, all that. Yep.
Okay.
Definitely. Definitely.
I asked that because there's, it's a fun topic. And I hear some wild stories from some people when they're on set and all these wild things happen, or if the director shoots at some insane asylum that's shut down and at nighttime they're stuck there in their trailer. It's just a lot of cool stories. Yeah, I believe in everything, man. I believe in everything everyone believes in. Anybody says anything, I'm like, cool. That's it. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's it. I mean, look, I had an Aunt Candy who passed away, and before she died, she was telling everyone she was an English school teacher. She had an accent. She'd never spoken with an accent before, but she had this English accent, and so they got her to write her name, and she wrote her name out, her English school teacher name, with her left hand, and she was right-handed, perfect cursive with her left hand. I mean, do with that what you will, but there's some crazy shit out there, and that's one. I mean, right? Exactly.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. That is.
Yeah.
That's actually,
What do you do with that? What do you do with that, man?
You take pictures and you put it on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, this was before Instagram, you know.
Oh,
like,
wow. So,
my God, yeah, no, this was many
Instagram
years ago.
We should have recorded. But
yeah.
So you know what?
You can't get away with much, man. I think there's going to be a lot more that comes out in terms of like people filming ghosts or aliens. You know, it's an exciting time. There's cameras everywhere, right?
It's a great time and a lot's going on. So Brandon, the fans, anything you want them to like put their attention towards?
Yeah, definitely. We've got Night Hunter on Prime Video and various streaming platforms. I have this other beautiful movie called Brotherhood coming out. It's making its way around Ontario, and it'll be on VOD soon. It's a true story, 1926, of this terrible canoe accident that happened at Balsam Lake, where 11 campers died under my watch as the camp counselor. So that's going to be coming out, and I'm just grinding it out.
Hey, man, you're grinding it very well. Look at the time. It feels like 5 minutes. I swear to you, rarely this happens, only with the coolest. I want everybody out there to watch Night Hunter. It's on Amazon. I hope you're on Siren, which I think you will be on Siren because everything was kind of left, with a lot of questions. I know that. And I hope Stanley gets resurrected in one of the 100 CW fandom, superhero TV shows, because there's so many options for you since now there's the Mega Earth. All the superheroes are on it. I think it's too many superheroes in one Mega Earth. But, hey, we got to see you there. Other than that, Brandon, I would love to bring you back on because I have 1,000 more things to talk about and ask you and go over, especially with, your up-and-coming projects. And again, man, I'm so sorry for that thing that happened, and thank you for bringing the awareness out there because awareness is number one. But other than that, Brandon, is there anything you want to tell the fans before we start heading out?
Just be safe out there. Thank you so much for your support. And we will see you again. Thanks so much.
That's right. So, ladies and gems, if you want to follow Brandon, go to Brendan Fletcher. That's Don't go to the other Brendan Fletcher. That's not him. It's Brendan Fletcher on Instagram. Follow him. Say what's up. We just followed him right now, and we're gonna, see where it goes. But anyways, you could catch him on one of his TV shows, movies, The Arrow, The Siren. He's everywhere, and you're gonna see this guy hitting the stars and keeping up there. Brandon, thank you so much, brother. And with that said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Galaxy with the cool Brendan Fletcher. With the cool Brendan Fletcher. What did I just say? That's not the first time that's happened. I had 6 interviews today. Whatever. But anyways, with the cool Brendan Fletcher, Brandon, and with that said, we got to blow 1,000,000 kisses out there to the universe. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, mwah, billion kisses.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
There you go, man. Look at that. Stanley just kissed you guys. Be careful because he might get you. But anyways, keep his kisses. Hopefully you can use it once Stanley's back on one of the superhero shows. And with that said, peace.
Peace out.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing out from another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Tune in for your daily shows of Comic-Con Radio. Go to comiccon-radio.com. Reach us on social media, Instagram at Comic-Con Radio. Comic-Con Radio, taking the world one listener at a time.
All right, Brandon. Sorry for the little tongue twister there. I was... one of the guys here put Brendan Fraser's pick up. So.
Oh, dude, leave it in. It's hilarious.
Yeah, we'll leave that. But man, anyways, man, again, outstanding, bro.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
All right, brother.
All right, take care.
Day, bro. Okay,
bye.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.